At birth, we're yanked from a warm, safe place and thrust into a world we have no way of comprehending. Childhood is a constant routine of punishment and confusion. Hell, we're depressed and misunderstood as teenagers, and then frightened and unprepared as we become adults. In midlife, we watch as our youth slowly slips away, our dreams for greatness becoming pathetic memories. Old age brings loneliness, infirmity, and the constant fear of death. Hi, I'm Rick Reynolds. Thank you very much for coming. Let me be frank and candid with you. This is the culmination of 2 years of my life. We have 2 runs at this afternoon and tonight. This afternoon sucked miserably. It is up to you to salvage my career. I understand there are cameras everywhere. There's a guy right there, which is bizarre to me. And there's lights are really bright. I will sweat a lot. None of that is important. There's only one thing that's important in this show. You have to trust me. You have to close your eyes and fall backwards into my arms. And it is a trust, I assure you, I will not take lightly. I make you this promise right now, and please believe me, I mean this. I will not lie to you once tonight. I will stretch your credulity. You will at times wonder if that could possibly be true. Please go with me on this journey. I'll make this really easy. We will start with some very, very simple things to believe. And we'll build. My name is Rick. That's not hard, is it? My full name is Rick Randall Reynolds. I was born in Portland, Oregon on December 13th, 1951. I am unbelievably to myself 40 years old. I stand 6 feet 2.5 inches tall. I weigh probably 200 pounds by this time. I have a very big nose. I have very large hands. I believe my penis to be average size. I am losing my hair, obviously. I would be totally bald at this point in my life if I hadn't paid thousands and thousands of dollars years ago for hair transplants, for this wispy bit of crap up here. I am vain. I'm really vain. I care way too much what you are thinking about me right at this instant. I do not believe in God. In fact, I'll tell you the truth. God does not exist. I know it for a fact. I hope he doesn't hold that against me later. But these are my convictions. I am married. I've been married 10 years. I love my wife, Lisa Ludwigson, more than I could ever express with words. Even though the bitch wouldn't take my last name, I love her very deeply. I collect old records. Now, I bring that up now because I spend so much time with them. I spend so much time thinking on them and working on them and cleaning them. I am so obsessive. I have 50,000 records at home. I'm glad I have no major bad habits to obsess over. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I do sugar. I do massive amounts of sweets. I don't understand how you can get to be an adult in charge of your own life and not eat all the damn sugar you can. There are people like this. Do you know people that can take like a big bowl of M&Ms, put them out on their coffee table as though they were a decoration of some sort? Weeks go by, they don't touch them, dust is collecting. What kind of soulless zombies are these people? They're the same people who will slice the tiniest piece of fudge you have ever seen in your life. And they'll take a little nibble and go, oh, that is rich. Right, then I'll chisel out a 4-inch square slab. I'll sit in some corner with my eyes rolled back, moaning as I eat the damn thing. I am intensely anal. I love lists. I love anything that is in order. I make lists every day. I get up and I make a list of things I'm supposed to do that day, right? I sometimes put on that list things I've done already for the sheer pleasure of crossing them out of my list. I very much like other people's lists. I love the end of the year when the critics compile their lists, their favorite whatever. I compile the same lists myself. Every year I have my favorite movies of that year, my favorite records of that year, and my best friends of that year. I have put together what is officially called RickReynolds' Top 20 Friend List for the past 12 years. What I do, and I defy you to try this, it's really hard. I sit down on December 31st of every year and figure out who my friends are, in order of how much I like them. Everybody on that list comes over that night, they bring food, it's a potluck New Year's Eve thing. We sit around, we eat, we talk, we listen to music. A few minutes after midnight, people start to gather around me for the real reason we're there, the official reading of Rick's list. Every year I start at number 20, a person I like very, very much, just not quite as much as number 19. And I slowly work my way up to my best friend of that year. And I always mention where people had charted the year before so they can watch their progress. There's always room for improvement, is what I say. You know, I am so well adjusted, and yet I have so many problems. We don't have time to go into them all tonight. Suffice it to say that I am anal, I'm obsessive, I am vain, overly introspective, lazy, judgmental, insecure, self-righteous. Probably the most annoying thing about me is that I act as though I'm always right about everything. But I make up for that by always being right about everything. Please pardon me for noticing this, but I really like a lot of things about me. I am the most honest person I've ever met. It would be bragging if it weren't the truth. I am. I am the most open person I know. I have no secrets. And I mean that literally, not one secret. And I'm not saying that I have no lurid fantasies or embarrassing faults or painful memories. Of course I do. But I'll tell you the truth. They become so much less lurid, embarrassing, and painful the more I talk about them. Which is basically why we're here tonight. I really think at base that I'm a remarkably simple person. Trust me, you know me right now. You have me totally figured out. I am not exaggerating my persona. I am not doing a character, and I am not acting. You paid a lot of money to see a big kind of Broadway production. Forgive me. All you're going to see tonight is a guy ranting at you. Sometimes it looks like I'm acting. I know that. It looks as though I'm pretending like emotions are overtaking me. I tell you, you know what's happening at those moments? Emotions are overtaking me. These are real things that affect me. There are nights when the show so affects me, it switches into another gear. I call it magical. There are these great, great artistic nights where I dance with the audience, and God, it's great. And I fight back the tears, and I take you on a journey, and it is the most rewarding thing in my life. There are other nights when it does not work. I poke at it, I prod at it, I push as hard as I can, and it doesn't work. And it's always your fault, by the way. If the show should not work tonight, and it feels like it will so far, I will not pretend at any point. I will not come to the sad parts and pretend to be sad if I'm not. Because, quite frankly, I wouldn't do it well. You would so see through me, and you wouldn't trust me, and there goes the dynamic of the show. I think that probably the simplest thing about me is how I become happy. Nothing brings me more pleasure than just following my animal instincts. God, I love sex. I love it. I know you love it too. Please trust me. I love it more. I love that moment during sex when I stop being a thinking, rational being and I just become a thrusting beast. I love that. And I love my emotions, the entire gamut, even the negative ones. When somebody cuts me off on the freeway and I'm pissed and fuck you, and my brain kind of slithers to the front of my head and I'm so incredibly focused and in that moment and I really enjoy that. Of course, don't get me wrong, I prefer my positive emotions. Being in love. You know that. It is the best thing there is by far. I would die for my wife, Lisa. I think. I can't be positive, really. How do I know what I do? I'm in an alley, 3 in the morning, guy's got a gun at Lisa's head. Yeah, I'd like to think I would be noble, okay? How do I know I wouldn't go, I'm not with her? I do know this, though, for an absolute fact. My favorite moment in life, with no exaggeration, is when I crawl into bed with Lisa at night. I love that. She always goes to bed hours before I do, and her butt is hot by the time I get to bed. Am I making this up? It's like a solar device of some sort. Soaking up the sun's energy and just radiating all night long. And I slide over next to her and I twist her so her back is to me. And I get right into the S position, the spoon thing for some of you. And I have the front of my legs against the back of her legs, my left hand on her right breast, and my wiener against her hot butt. And I am so happy. That is how I want to die if I could choose. Wouldn't you? I don't want to be in a hospital with tubes up my nose. Just... I want Lisa in my arms, and I just drift off. She wakes up the next morning locked in that rigor mortis death grip. After cuddling up comes another huge animal bonus. Sleep. Oh, don't you love to sleep? I mean, you know you're an adult when you love naps. Middle of the day, TV on in the background, drool dripping. Little pool on your pillow there. And as good as sleeping is, let's face it, eating is better. I would forego dinner every single day of my life to eat crap all day long. One of my favorite moments in life, and I'll almost for sure I'll have this tonight. I watch too much TV. We have this big screen TV that my wife hates, and I'm up till the wee hours watching some crappy thing on cable. Much like this show. I'll be up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I've got some nacho cheese Doritos, the $2.69 big bag, freshly opened right here. And suddenly, you know, I'll get about halfway through my bag of Doritos, and I'll start to feel a little queasy, you know, and very guilty because I'm ingesting orange death, basically. And suddenly I just go, fuck it, and finish the bag. I love that. You know, it reminds me of a moment I used to have in college. I put off my term papers every single time till the last minute. So I'd be up at 3 or 4 in the morning working on some damn thesis, totally confused, completely exhausted. And I'd have this glorious inspiration. I'd put down my pencil, look up, and go, I'm getting an incomplete. It feels so good to give up. To surrender, to take the road most traveled. But you know what? It feels equally good to persevere, to be strong, to work things out. It really seems in life, maybe this is naive, but it seems to me we are in a win-win situation. You know what it's like to put your taxes off to the last minute? You've got a Saturday to do your taxes, and instead of doing your taxes, you watch some crappy TV show and take a nap. Well, it feels great, right? You know what feels better? Doing your taxes, getting them behind you. I know that I'm getting older. I'm 40 now because it seems like there's a generation behind me. And they're screwed up. It's all of the body. It's all the easy way. It's all physical. That is not the way to live your life. I know this sounds elitist, but damn it is the truth. The smart people I know enjoy life a lot more than the stupid people I know. It's true. The smart people I know, of course, are my friends. The stupid people I know, of course, are my family.